The reason you feel hopeless on defense in Madden 26 is probably because you're not calling the right plays, or worse, you're in the wrong defensive playbook. But don't worry, because in this video, I'm breaking down the top 3 defensive playbooks you need to be using, including some hidden plays that you've never seen before. You're not going to want to miss this one, so let's jump right into it. Alright, the most important thing is finding a defense for you, and that's why you need to watch all 3 of these playbooks to really hone in on which one's going to work for you. But first, let's talk about the Titans defense. Alright, so when we talk about the Titans defensive playbook, there's really 2 kind of versions of this. If you have more like big linebacker type of players, I'm going to show you 3-4 odd, and then also we're going to talk about, dime 2-3 will for if you want to run more of like a coverage kind of, nickel defense, right? Where you have more safeties on the field and linebackers. Alright, so we're going to come to 3-4 odd though first, and you can run this from man out of pinch bucko, or you can run this from zone out of Tampa 2. Alright, so we come into Tampa 2, you want to take this linebacker right here, you want to user him. Alright, you're going to blitz your other inside linebacker, so you're going to press, D-pad right twice, then X here in this case, and then blitz him. So essentially you're trying to overload blitz on this left side. You're going to have 4 rushers, hopefully, running over there. So the last thing I would probably do is shift my point of attack to be left here. So we're going to crash left. All right. So that's going to basically make all these guys go towards the left side of the offensive line. All right. So we're going to have them go ahead and take the snap. You're going to turbo engage. So press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, take the snap, and you're going to be able to see you get your defensive tackle to come in free. The most important thing though with this defense is actually, getting back into coverage, because you're able to see if you don't get back into coverage, the middle of the field's wide open, especially if you're going to run the cover 2 version of this. If you run man coverage out of this, you're going to be able to guard the middle of the field pretty easily, but you see how you turbo engage. You get the attention of the center, and so that just allows for one of the players on that left side to come in completely free, right? So boom, you're able to see this time it's just a defensive tackle, and actually our off-the-ball linebacker here in this case actually comes in free, and then the running back would have to step up to block him. Also, the great thing about this is that you can switch stick really well. So if you want to just run a cover 3, version of this, maybe something like this, you got to certainly get good with quick adjustments here if you want to, run, any defense in this game. But if you want to set it up something like this, now that middle of the field is probably going to be closed off a little bit better, right? So you're going to, again, press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, have them set up, the blocking the running back, right? And so when they go and take the snap, you're going to be able to see Party in the backfield. Why? Because we're just pushing these guys back into the quarterback. Again, the most important thing is that turbo engage, right? Pressing that D-pad up and trying to just engage with this, center right here and get that quick pressure in the backfield. You're able to see right here, he actually bumps me away, and so that allows him to block someone else so the blitz doesn't come in as fast. So that's why I say no blitz is ever 100% of the time, but this is a really good one that you can start using from 3-4 odd. But next, we're going to come into dime 2-3 will here, okay? We're going to call a strong safety zone blitz. Again, another blitz that you've probably never seen anyone really talk about here. All right, so all we're going to do is take this linebacker right here, all right, and we're going to stand right here over the left guard, just because our blitz is coming off of that left side. All right, so again, kind of just another overload blitz, honestly, where you're just basically trying to move 65 inside by swooping down and back up. All right, so you're going to they can call any play, take the snap, move this guard inside, and then you're able to see, because I move him inside, then that allows for that off the ball linebacker to come in completely free. All right, we look at the replay here, 65, that's who we're looking at here. You see how my user basically turns him inside, forces him to double team, and then he's too slow to react, right, to this guy. And honestly here, what's crazy is I could have only sent 4 people and gotten pressure, but really the 5th rusher right here kind of serves as a safety blanket, just in case the guard does a good job of blocking this man, the linebacker, then he's not going to be able to block a 2nd rusher coming free off the ball. So really you can run this with a 4-man rush if you wanted to, maybe man that safety onto the linebacker. You could certainly do that. That's an adjustment. But normally I just go ahead and send 5 to really make sure that we are able to get pressure on the quarterback. And again, you can do whatever you want with the coverage on the back end depending on the formation, but just as far as being able to get pressure on the quarterback really quickly, this is one of the best ways to do it. Again, so boom, take it, try to turn him inside, and you're able to see once again we're able to accomplish that and get the quarterback on the ground. This is actually one of my favorite blitzes in the game because no one really talks about it. Safety blitzing isn't too common, so you're going to be able to catch some people off guard with it, and it still just comes back to having a good user. Get the attention of the guard, turn him inside, and then we're going to get back into coverage to stop anything over the middle of the field. So again, you can obviously see if they block their running back, he would probably step up to block this linebacker, but then that's another reason why we send this guy. So we would be able to get pressure when they block 6 and we're only sending 5, and we're able to get pressure when they block 5 and we're only sending 4. Titans playbook, one that you really need to take a look at. Alright, if you're enjoying this video thus far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of the great defense tutorials that I bring you on this channel every day. Alright, so the next playbook that you need to take a look at is the Green Bay Packers playbook. They have some really good coverages and blitzes that I need to show you. Alright, so this first one from the Packers playbook is going to be nickel 3-3 load mug. Again, something else that no one really talked about here, and it's actually pretty good. So first we're going to come into nickel blitz 3, okay? It's going to be an overload blitz right here is basically what we're trying to do. You see how we already have 4 pass rushers or 4 blitzers on the left side of the offensive line. 1, 2, these 2 are kind of hiding, but that's 4. Right? If you want to, you can move this guy a little bit more outside. That's just an optional adjustment if you have time to do it. But you want to make sure you're not getting beat up the seam, right? So you're just going to put this safety in a deep half, put this corner right here on the right side in a cloud flat. So now you have a good cover 3 cloud-based defense, and you're going to be able to play pretty good coverage, right? So again, shift your D-line to the right so that now essentially you're going to have 4 defensive linemen on that right side where they only have 2 offensive linemen, okay? So then, and again, we're going to just stand right here over the center. You're going to try to turbo engage with them. So D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. All right, boom, take the snap. You see you get the attention of the center, and then what does that do? It allows for your slot corner to come in free off the edge. And again, the great thing also about this is, again, you're spamming A or X on PlayStation to immediately get off the block and get back into coverage and play good defense over the middle of the field, right? You can see how they're only going to have a few guys over here. You see how they only have 2 rushers? Now, honestly, if 94, my D tackle, went over to the right instead of going to the left, this would have been even better. But you see, we're still playing 3-on-2 on this side, and so we're still able to get pressure. And the great thing also, this is the key, 75. You see, he's really... The man that he's supposed to be blocking is this guy right here who drops into a zone. So that confuses the block targeting of the AI, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to get pressure. So again, shift your D-line to the left, right? And then you're going to just move this guy outside a little bit if you have time. That would probably be my last adjustment, honestly, if you're not great with quick adjustments. But again, I would pass through my defense, turbo to gauge, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. As soon as they take the snap, I'm trying to get off the block, and then you're able to see we're able to get, 3 guys to come in free off the edge, and you're back into coverage to take away, the routes. And again, you can do whatever you want, as far as coverage, like I always say on the back end. If you want to cross man, you want to run man, zone, whatever you want to do, right? But you can also see if they block their running back, it's just a party in the backfield, right? The running back's not going to be able to block 3 people. So it's kind of a crazy blitz that, again, it's only really what? I'm only sending 5 people because I'm sending my slot corner off the edge. And honestly, I don't even think you would really even need to blitz this man right here. If you wanted to drop him out, you could probably do that too. Because again, it's just the concept of playing 3-on-2 or 4-on-2 sometimes on this right side of the offensive line because you're able to get the attention of the center. But if you don't want to send a bunch of pressure, you can still call this crazy blitz linebacker DN twist 3. All right, so we're going to come into this play now. And this is basically a super stunt. Right, I just want you to just take a look. I pass through my defense. I'm not even going to do anything with my user here. I'm just going to take the snap and just watch how these, players are just basically twisting, looping, and stunting, whatever you want to call it, around the offensive line very, very well. You also, I would, stand over the center, right, to try to, confuse the line somehow, right? Maybe stand right here, and then just, boom, try to do something with the line where you're able to get off these blocks a lot faster, because guys are looping around and coming in a lot of different directions instead of just following a standard, typical pass rush here. I wouldn't say this this doesn't serve in the same purpose as a blitz. This is more of just a way to collapse the pocket a lot easier because these guys are kind of looping inside, looping around, and kind of confusing the offensive line, and so they're going to get off the blocks faster, more so than like just your blitz defense that I showed you earlier. So again, pass commit, I mean, you could shift the D-line in any direction that you want, stand wherever you want, right? I would certainly get in practice with these blitzes more if I were you, but you're able to see how 96 that time does a great job of punishing the offensive line, collapsing the pocket, and making it very, very tough for them to block. So we just look at this guy right here. Boom. He's just going to shed, force the running back to pick him up, and then you're able to see that allows everyone else to be in a one-on-one, pass rush situation. So the Green Bay Packers playbook, really good because, again, it has this nickel load mug. It also has, one of the best pro defenses here in this game from Dime 32 that I talked about in my, pro tips video. Card will be at the top right if you want to see that. But you also have single mug, double mug, right? You have, 3-5 defenses. I mean, you just have so much, right? You're 4-3, even 6-1. So this Green Bay Packers playbook, one that you certainly need to take a look at because of its versatility, both in coverage and being able to affect the quarterback in a hurry. All right, this last playbook that I'm about to show you, I really can't even believe it's a playbook in the game. It has every single good defensive formation that you could possibly want, and that's why it's the meta right now. Let me show you the Vikings playbook. All right, so when we come into the Vikings playbook, this is kind of what I'm talking about. We have 3-3 odd, we have 3-3 cub, we have single mug, double mug, right? I mean, there's just so much I could talk about, but what I'm actually going to show you is something that you probably haven't seen too much or never seen before possibly, is 4-3, even 6-1. We're going to come into Sam Will Blitz, okay? Now, this is, we haven't even really talked about run defense, right, in this video. It's been all passes, but something that I do want to show you from this 4-3, even 6-1 is look how we have 6 guys lined up over the line of scrimmage, right? And so this is kind of similar to mid blitz, although you have more defensive linemen, so you're going to be able to get better pass rush, but we're just going to pinch our defensive line, and if we just stand right here over the center, you see how when they call a run play, when I move, if I'm standing back here, you see how the flame icon's over the top of my user and the outside linebacker on the left, but when I come stand directly over the center, right, so if I want to stand here, like I want to stand right here, then the flame icon moves to over top of that defensive lineman. So when they go to take the snap, you're going to see how Van Dinkels and actually 97 on that play, they do a terrible job of blocking these guys. Right? So again, you wouldn't be able to see the flame icon, but it's just understanding the concept and knowing that, okay, if I just move, right, and I pinch my defensive line and then I move over, the flame icon, which is basically going to be saying who the offensive line is going to let in free, right? The flame icon's over the top of its head, and so now Van Ginkel is going to be able to loop around. Now, something else I would do, another pro tip, is actually click onto him and then dive tackle so that he's not just kind of running down like he did there, running all slow, right? So we go ahead and do it one last time here, right? So you're just going to take the snap, get the attention, and then you're able to see how we're able to just dive tackle the running back in the backfield. So this formation, 4-3, even 6-1, actually makes run defense way easier because you're taking advantage of that. You already have so many guys over the line of scrimmage, but then by moving your user, you're basically like retargeting the offensive line. All right, but obviously 4-3, even 6-1 is great pass defense, right? Because we're going to be overload blitzing them once again, right? We're going to shift our D-line to the to the left here, right? So again, you can see how we have 3 defensive linemen where they have 2 offensive linemen, right? And so we're going to just, press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, right? And also, you could just, I would change this coverage up. I would honestly probably just run cover 2 hard flat from this defense, right? Because you can just drop this outside linebacker right here into a vert hook, so it's going to give you some additional coverage support, and then just play cover 2 hard flat, right? Or you could just man him up right onto their slot receiver like this to stop the middle of the field throws, right? So anyway, whatever they want to do, we're just going to press, obviously, like I said, turbo engage, right trigger, left stick down, D-pad up, right? So boom, we're going to take the snap, and that time they just let me come in free. So that's the thing with the turbo engage that makes it so, overpowered, is sometimes the offensive line chooses to just let you come in free and you just use a rush. You're expecting to get blocked and then you're going to spam A, but if they just let you come in free, you just go make that play. right? You just easily go make that play, and that's why you also have hard flats on the field, because you want to be able to come down and stop these underneath throws as soon as possible. No one's going to be expecting you to really use or rush them in this game, and so it's going to catch so many people off guard. They'll never be able to get rid of the ball, and or they'll just make a huge panic read. So that's another great advantage to the turbo engage, is the ability to affect the quarterback in a hurry. But we're going to set it up the same way right here: pass commit, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. All right, boom, take the snap. That time he actually blocks me, and so when he blocks me, that allows one of the players to come in free. Like I said, the defensive tackle right there. All right. So D-tackle comes in free, this is what we call like a nano blitz, just because, I get the attention of the center, so now I'm able to get back into coverage very, very easily and play really good defense. So it just shows you that you don't have to be in the meta. Like, this is a meta playbook, right? But you can run 4-3, even 6-1, right? And, stop the pass, stop the run, adjust your coverage really well. And this formation is also glitch, where you can get safeties in those kind of linebacker spots. But obviously, I'm not done here, because they have, I showed you load mug earlier from another playbook, so you can kind of see how some of these overlap. But we understand how double mug's a meta. We understand how 3-3 odd, 3-3 cub, right? You come into dime, 2-3 Sam. All of this stuff is really good, and that's why I say the Vikings playbook is one that you need to be using, because it has every good formation in the game. Alright, if you liked any of the plays or playbooks that I broke down in this video, I encourage you to go down below to the link in the description and pinned comment and grab my Vikings defensive ebook, where I show you everything you need to know about defense from the Vikings playbook in Madden 26. You can use code WELCOME to get 20% off. But if you're still struggling with anything in Madden 26, I want to personally work with you one-on-one to change that. You can go book a coaching session, again, at the link down below in the description and pinned comment, or we'll hop on a video call and I'll fix everything that you're struggling with. I can't wait to see you over there.